Hey, it's Zach. I'm going to show you how to edit a page in PyroCMS. This is particularly helpful for people who work on the academic catalog at NNU and need to make changes to things like course descriptions or catalog pages before we publish the catalog for the next academic year. You'll notice my URL is set to boise.nnu.edu/admin. That's where we always go to edit the catalog for the next year, and that's where you will go to make changes to the catalog for 2021 and 22. I had to think about that for a second. Okay, now I've already logged in and into PyroCMS, and at the top of the screen you'll see the main menu, and underneath content you'll get really kind of two big content areas for catalog editors: course descriptions and pages. I'm going to go over both, but I'm going to start with pages. Now pages are kind of split. Pages in the catalog are kind of split into two big categories: traditional undergrad, where we build the traditional undergraduate catalog, and graduate and professional studies, where we build the GPS catalog. So if you happen to work in a graduate program, for example, you're going to expand and look into the graduate and professional studies catalog and look underneath graduate programs for something like the MBA in business or our MSN program or something like that. If you work in an undergraduate program, you're going to see underneath the traditional undergraduate catalog things like academic departments, and that's where you would go to see all of our business degrees, for example. So as you edit, if you work in an academic department, you'll have to kind of pay attention to those particular areas of the catalog so that you know where to go and edit information that may need to change. This is true if you've created a new academic program or a new degree, or need to change the name of a degree, or change the name of faculty members that might appear on those pages. So kind of keep that in mind. I'm just going to give us an example today, but really you'll get to see how it all works. So I'm going to kind of assume that there's like a new program in the College of Business, and we need to add a degree page in here called Bachelor of Science in Business. Now, it's pretty easy to add and edit a page in PyroCMS. Normally, if we are not working in the catalog, I would encourage users to use this Add Page button at the top of the Pages module to add a page in to the system, but we're not really going to do that when it comes to working on the catalog. That's because when you add a page using this button, it adds the page to the very bottom of the page tree down here, and in order to reorganize that, we have to kind of just drag and drop that into the appropriate spot in the catalog, and that can get kind of messy with this interface. So it's better to pick kind of the parent page first, which will kind of select the destination under which you can create a new page. So for example, if we were going to create a new page underneath the business department here, you'll notice over here this window on the right titled Explanation updates when I select a new page in the system. In order to add a new page, what we're going to do is click on this Add Child button right here instead of the Add Page here. What that will do is add a new page into the tree right under this selected page. So I'm going to do that now. We're going to call this Bachelor of Science in Business. And I'm going to switch the status to live. And then we're going to add some page content. In order to do that, you just kind of select the WYSIWYG here, add your cursor, or drop your cursor. In order to do that, we just drop our cursor into the WYSIWYG here and start adding our page content. Now I'm just going to do some dummy text here, but you'll be able to add your page content to the system, which I'm sure will probably be pre-written. Now, a couple of little tricks to help you out, a couple of tips. One, try not to just copy and paste straight from a Word doc into this WYSIWYG. That's always kind of a bad news when it comes to website interfaces like this. What you're really doing there is taking some text that's pre-formatted into a document like a Word doc and then trying to convert it into HTML using this tool, and that can get really, really funky. One of the best things to do when working with the WYSIWYG is to paste your text as plain text. Now, if you're in Chrome and you copy and paste some text, one of the things you can do is you can do Control V to paste that in, or you can do if you do Control Shift V, it'll paste it as plain text instead of styled text, and that's a huge, huge upgrade. If you're on Mac, it's Command Shift V. If you're on a Windows machine, it's Control Shift V. So give that a try when you're adding content into the system. You'll still have to kind of style it using the provided tools in the WYSIWYG, but it prevents it from, it really helps the content look a whole lot better on the front end of the website and doesn't really bring over all of the stylings from the Word doc that might mess the content up as you edit it. So keep that in mind as you work on the pages in PyroCMS. So I'm going to go ahead and just save and exit this page. You know, we kind of pretend we have added all our content in here about this degree page, and you'll notice when I save and exit now, it will have added that Bachelor of Science in Business page down here in the page tree. So I'm going to go ahead and select that and then kind of scroll up here, and I'm going to delete this page now because we don't need it. I'll just kind of quickly show you what that looks like. Selected the page in the page tree, come up here to the explanation window, and I click delete. It says, are you sure you want to do this? It cannot be undone. I'm going to say, okay. And that's it. We've really kind of walked through the process of editing and or creating a new page and deleting that page. Now, if you need to just edit like an existing page in the system, like we need to maybe make a change on this Bachelor of Science Business Administration page, I can click on the title and then over here click on Edit, and that will bring me to the editing screen. Now you'll see this first. You'll see the title and the slug first and the status. Make sure that's always kind of set to live so we can see this page on the website. And then you'll switch to the page content tab. Now these will be in the opposite order for you. I have set this up as an administrator so that I see page content first. But you'll have to click page content, and then you can make text changes on a page. So I'm gonna just kind of say maybe we made a mistake here, and this was supposed to be 2021 or something like that, or 2221. Normally we would make that change and then just scroll down and click save or save and exit. And I'm going to go ahead and click save and exit and go back to the page tree. That's pretty much it. It's a pretty easy system to kind of figure your way in. Really, all you have to do is kind of take advantage of that WYSIWYG editor and know which page you're editing in the system. You can always select a page out of this page tree just by clicking on the title of the page, and then you can see the details of that page and choose an action here. If you want to see this page live on the site, you can always just select a page, for example, Bachelor of Science Accounting, and then click on this blue URL, this slug right here, and it will take you out to that page on the live side of the website. So now you'll see that URL is the exact URL of that page on our development site. Okay, now let's talk about course descriptions. You'll find course descriptions module underneath content in the menu. Go ahead and go to content, course descriptions. Now, course descriptions are kind of what you expect, right? Like this is just a database of all of the courses that are offered at NNU and that should appear in the catalog. So it's really important, though, that you recognize and understand where you are inside the course descriptions module, because this is kind of broken into two big categories. So right here underneath course descriptions, you'll see this kind of submenu of options. You'll see 6 options here: CAS, courses, CAS prereqs, CAS co-reqs, CAS CAGS courses, CAGS prereqs, CAGS co-requisites. And if you're not familiar with this CAS and CAGS terminology, this is kind of some older catalog language we still have roaming around inside of our system. It stands for College of Arts and Sciences and College of Adult and Graduate Studies. And this was kind of the two-college system that existed before our current kind of seven college system, I think. And this is the college system that predated our current organizational system of colleges. So you're going to kind of see this language a little bit, but generally speaking, if you're going to be editing a traditional undergraduate course description, you're going to do that in CAS courses. If you're going to be doing anything in like a adult professional program or a graduate program, you're going to do that in the CAGS courses area of the course descriptions. And make sure that you select that area that applies to your course descriptions before you begin editing or before you begin adding new courses. That's a really, really, really important thing to do. So I'm just going to kind of assume we're working in the CAS side of the house, the traditional undergraduate side of the house, and we need to edit one of the courses. Happens to be Ceramics 1. You know, maybe we made a typo in there last season, or the description has changed a little bit. We need to change this course. Now you could always search for any of the art courses by typing in ARDE, searching, and seeing all the art courses in the system. Or you can search for even just a very specific course in the system and then click edit to edit the course. This will bring you to the edit the course description editing form, and you can change the course number, the course name, all of the description text, the number of credits the course is, and whether or not there's an additional fee required. You'll always see this kind of created date created field down here. You can just ignore that. It will just appear automatically on records in the system once they've been created, but you can just ignore that. It will always be filled out with the previous date. So then you can click Save when you are done. That's how you edit a course. You can also delete a course in the system. If you click on Delete here on a course row, it will ask you if you want to delete the course, and of course you can say yes or no. If you do say yes, the course will be deleted immediately, and if you had made a mistake, you'll have to recreate that course. So of course the same thing applies in CAS as it does in the CAGS side of the house. If you are in CAGS and you need to create a new course description, you can do that by clicking this Add Course Description button at the top. You'll notice that appears also on the CAS courses section of the catalog. And when you click Add Course Description, you get to add a course number, name, description, and number of credits. And then answer this question, is there an additional fee required? And then you click Save, and it creates a new course in the system. Once you've created all your courses, you can then add prerequisites and co-requisites to those courses. And if you look at, for example, Accounting 2070 is a great example of a course that needs a prerequisite or has a prerequisite. And so I'm going to edit that record. What this is going to tell you is that Accounting 2070, which we've selected out of this dropdown, has a prerequisite of Accounting 2060. So you need to take 2060 before you can take 2070. It also asks if a student can receive instructor approval before to take Accounting 2070 and without necessarily fulfilling this course prerequisite, and the answer for this one is yes. Is there program admission required? Generally speaking, we only check this box for like the nursing program where there's a secondary application and kind of a program admittance. So you will likely not have to do this unless you work in nursing. And then there's this other prerequisite field here. This is kind of a catch-all. You know, it's a place to put in course prerequisite information like maybe like a GPA score or some other type of academic prerequisite that might not be quite as standard throughout the catalog. If you have multiple courses where that could fulfill a prerequisite, you might take the opportunity to detail them in the other prerequisite box and not select a course prerequisite up here. This kind of assumes that kind of an and conjunction between these courses, meaning that you'd have to take Bible 1100 and Bible 11 or Bible 3094 to take the selected course. That's just not, generally speaking, how. That's just not always how it works. So if you happen to have a number of courses that could fulfill a course prerequisite, or excuse me, prerequisite, then you can detail those here. Again, there's the created field down here. You can ignore that and then click save. So the same, everything there applies for CAGS prerequisites. It operates the same exact way. It's just that you're doing things in the CAGS side of the house. So here you can see that Accounting 2750 has a prerequisite of Accounting 2065. Co-requisites are very, very similar. They're just a little bit easier to manage. A really common one that I think helps demonstrate exactly how co-requisites work is this one, Biology 1030, which is Earth Science, and its co-requisite Biology 1030L, which is the Earth Science Laboratory. So if you go in and look at the Biology 1030 co-requisite, you'll notice that we've selected Biology 1030L as the co-requisite for Biology 1030. So that's pretty easy. If there's a co-requisite for the course, you can add that using this drop-down. And that's pretty much it. I mean, editing the catalog really is kind of broken down into those two categories: course descriptions, which you find under the course descriptions module, and pages, which you find underneath the pages module. Various catalog editors have a variety of areas in the catalog for which they're responsible for editing. And if you happen to work in an academic department, just a reminder, you'll likely find all of the content you're responsible for underneath this academic department's page inside the traditional undergrad catalog. Or if you happen to work in the graduate and professional studies side of the organization, you'll probably find that underneath graduate programs or undergraduate programs in the graduate and professional studies catalog. Other areas like academic perspectives, admissions, and financial aid are taken care of by folks in those respective offices. So admission and financial aid, for example, is admissions office and financial aid working together to keep these pages updated. Yeah, so, wow, that's it. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. You know how to reach me. And if you have any questions about final edits or timeline, feel free to reach out to the registrar's office. Thank you.